When I was a kid, most of my friends lived on farms. And from a young age, the idea of living away from town seemed like a magical experience. Just you and the land and the nature around you. My wife and I never knew when or if that would happen. But we're people who crave hard work, and we got a taste of country life when we rented a house on an acre lot early in our marriage. We made it our own and realized right then and there that one day we wanted that piece of land with a house to call our own, way out there in the country. Years went by, and long days and nights working towards our goal finally turned into a reality in 2021 when we found Westbury Acres. Named, of course, after our beloved Westies and the berries that were a complete surprise discovery on this land that we will soon call home. So here we are, at the starting line of a dream becoming a true reality. A house on a hill overlooking a view that we cherish every day we are blessed to open our eyes. Welcome to Westbury. It was early July in Iowa, and Paul Marshall, aka Mr. Postframe, was grading out some rock on the build site. And unfortunately, the 4th of July has become hell at our place since fireworks became legal to shoot off in town just a couple years ago. Our dogs are inconsolable, so we have to leave and head out of town to escape. I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to capture it, but I've never seen this many fireflies in my life. It is quite an amazing sight. Well, good morning, day one. Didn't think this day would come, but we knew it would eventually. It's just been quite a journey to get to this point, so very excited. Today it's going to be extremely hot, so they're trying to get as much stuff done here before it gets to that extreme heat, but I don't think it's going to matter too much because it's already like 85 degrees and it's about 8:15 a.m. Try to stay cool and hydrated as much as possible, but today we're doing footings, digging all that stuff in, and then tomorrow, hopefully, as long as rain holds off and everything, they'll be out here to put concrete in and then start the whole process. Paul carefully looked over the plans on day one and prepared to break ground.
Down there, right? Yeah. We're gonna put all this in right here. Yeah. So we're gonna start at the highest point and set this one flat.
So first couple holes are dug now, and with the equipment that Paul has, it doesn't take too long to get through these. He's got 34 of them to do today, I think. We're not doing any of the porch footings just because those will be more in the way when he's trying to work on the outside of the building. Do those later on, but it goes pretty fast, and he's already through like 4 or 5 within few minutes here. But one thing we noticed though was we got down to the bottom of the hole, probably the last 2 or 3 inches or so, and there is some water in there starting to seep in, which we found out from the well when we dug that out here that our water table is not really that far under the ground. And if you look over here, so where that field was, that was how high the ground was where we're actually building, and then they took out all that soil there. So we removed pretty much all the topsoil, and now we're down to the clay, and then he's also digging down quite a ways into the clay, so a little bit of water in there. Probably gonna have to do something about that before the concrete goes in tomorrow.
Morning.
Morning.
So, I feel like you'd be able to see this. We'll just string it a couple times, like top middle, so people can see it sitting there.
Okay.
Not only did we find water, but we are supposed to get a storm this afternoon. No rain in the forecast last week when we looked. Completely dry, humid, hot. And now today, now that we want to get started, 50% chance. I'm just gonna string this around. So I'll string this around. I can go get one more stake and just kind of curve it that way.
So this over here is our septic field area, and when we had our soil sample done for that, the most important thing he said is don't let anyone drive on this during construction area. No matter what you do, don't let anybody come and drive over here or park over here or anything, just because.
He said it like 5 times.
Yeah, so we were like, we get the point, okay. So we'll rope this off, and I've purposely let the grass get longer here too and mowed around it so that it looks like you probably shouldn't be on that area, but we know that's not enough. We need something else. Paul and the crew continued around the building as I continued to inspect for water. No water in this side.
Try any fresh picked black raspberries? They're our surprise. When we bought this, we didn't know they were here.
Those are great.
Aren't they good?
They're really good.
And they're all over the place?
All over the place.
Wow.
Hey Paul, did we have that factored in for that door change on this side?
What do you mean? Do we have it factored in?
Like enough space in between those?
Yeah. Yeah, there's for the 8-foot doors right there.
Okay.
In between that second, third one.
Okay.
And then the walk door is on the, it's going to be on the other side.
Okay.
The walk door can be on either side.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure because I was thinking about it and I was like, oh crap, we moved that and I don't remember.
No, I did. I moved that second one over a little bit.
Okay. Luckily you were thinking of it. We had a few last minute changes to a small garage door location, but Paul already made sure that was correct, so we're good to go. What started as a clean slate just a few hours ago was now the beginnings of what would anchor our building for its lifetime. That storm that Kelsey talked about earlier did indeed go through later that evening, and the sky turned a shade of yellow I don't think I've ever seen before. Bright and early the next morning, Paul was preparing for concrete.
Trying to get these all pumped out. You got a lot of water in this ground. It's crazy.
So we got about a half-inch of rain last night, of course, so Paul's favorite thing is back, which is mud pretty much everywhere. I'm trying to pump out these holes right now. It's looking pretty stormy over here. There's a cell over there, but it's looking like it's somewhat breaking up, so hopefully it does that before it gets here. As I've described before, the mornings out here are just amazing, and today there was some fog lingering just above the tree line. Paul's always thinking ahead, and he prepared some house wrap as temporary covers for concrete footings, just in case it rained.
Getting me stressed out with the weather. Oh, thunder.
They all good?
Yeah, they just didn't know if they always want to know if they should back in or pull in.
The concrete started flowing, and this specific attachment on the skid steer makes quick work of moving it exactly where the concrete needs to go. The sunlight was trying to peek through the fog as the work continued this morning. So we're just about done already. It's only been about 2 hours. Got 4 left right now, so it's been going really smoothly. Rain has been holding off so far, but I think they're going to be set up enough that it should be fine. The concrete was poured and it was time to place brackets that will hold the post in place. But just as that work began, the clouds were getting dark and thunder rang out in the distance. Most of the concrete was fairly set, but there were still a few that were wet when the rain started. But luckily, Paul was thinking ahead earlier in the day, and it ended up being more of a rain shower than a storm. So we lucked out.
And the concrete's hot.
So Kelsey had a pretty good idea that we should sit on the front porch pretty close to where we think the front door will probably be eventually here, and do some of these porch talk sessions, if you will. So as the building changes behind us, it will be interesting to see that as we continue these talks, everything will change behind you. You know, I'm not the only one that thinks of content. She can do this stuff too.
So welcome to our front porch. I think it'll be really fun to watch it change. And I can already tell you, this is going to be the greatest cup of coffee I've ever had in my life. I just can't even explain to you how excited I am to actually sit out here when we're ready and to watch this view with a cup of coffee.
So Kelsey and I were just going to sit here and describe maybe how we were feeling about this whole process and getting to this point. And I think that for me, I've been trying to think about, you know, it's been such a long process that it's something that you're looking forward to, but at the same time, you're not thinking about it every single day, because when you get excited about something and then you know there's a delay happening, you can't sit and think about it every day, or you're just,
Right.
you know, you're losing time just thinking of something that isn't reality. So we were sitting there planning, and then we knew there was going to be a big break before it was actually going to happen. So I think we didn't put it out of our mind, but we were like, oh, there's some time here before this is going to happen. And now that it's actually happening, there's the feeling of, oh, okay, there's more of a
Right.
real thing happening.
I actually feel like the excitement level, you know, you tell people, oh, we're building a house, and everybody's first response is, well, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. And I always kind of internally felt a little bit, maybe like I wasn't feeling right, because I was excited, but it was more of a, yeah, I'll see it when I believe it, because we've been dreaming about doing this for so long. And, you know, things did keep getting pushed back. Like we were supposed to be doing footings a few months ago, and then the weather happened and things got delayed. We knew that the footings were going in, and the night before they were coming out to start, I looked at Ryan and I said, so we're going to start building a house tomorrow. And I still didn't quite understand what that meant. You know, we came out here and we saw them start working, and I can tell you the main feeling I had was that kind of nervous, oh, I'm a little sick to my stomach kind of feeling. But then when they started actually building, okay, this is extremely exciting. This is actually going to happen. There's actually going to be a building out there, and I'm actually going to get to change my residence and come out here and live.
Well, and maybe because I wasn't doing the work, I wasn't feeling quite the same, but I know Paul mentioned to me right as the concrete truck was coming up the driveway, he's like, every time I do this, I feel like when I used to play basketball, and you have those nerves like right before you get out onto the court, like we're doing the game and we're doing this again, but once you're out there, you're totally fine. And I can relate to that from playing sports when I was a kid. But for me, I wasn't as nervous because I'm not the one drilling and doing everything. I'm just sitting here with my camera watching, and I felt pretty comfortable with that. But I get it from his perspective too, and that excitement for them every time they start something new.
Right. That nervousness of we just want to get off on a good foot and we want everything to go well. And then, of course, they start drilling the footings, and I wasn't able to be out here for that. Ryan calls me and he says, well, they found water. I said, of course they did. Of course we found water. Why wouldn't we have, something complicate things?
So I guess we're at this point now, and we're very excited about it. We're just still trying to get to that sense of it being real. I think that everything continues to move along, and each stage is exciting, and I'm just really enjoying the learning part of it too, being able to be out here and sort of capture a home as it's being built. It's not something that most people get to do,
Sure.
especially their own home. So that part for me is exciting, and I'm really looking forward to continuing that process.
Well, and for me, I've gotten past that initial nerves, initial disbelief, and I'm here. I am so excited to see this thing come together, and to be completely honest, I'm ready to start packing. I've been waiting for this opportunity to move out here and to be able to, immerse myself in a day-to-day life out here. So it's time to pack some boxes and get ready to come.
So obviously we're sitting here and you can see behind us that there's a lot that has happened since this video. And we're going to continue with all these updates, continue the story as we go, try to capture our feelings, try to capture the story of what's happening out here during a build with all the builders and how they're kind of feeling about it too. And then if you want to follow along more in real time, we have Westbury Acres on Instagram. Definitely check that out. We're doing stories on there and some reels and things to try to keep up in real time.
And you can always see our Westie shenanigans over on our Instagram page as well.
Yeah, we try to incorporate more of the Three Musketeers on there.
Yeah.
So.
The build is exciting, but they still keep us entertained.
Yeah. So I wanted to thank you so much for watching this video. As I said, there's much more to come as we continue this in the summer here and into fall. Thanks so much for watching.
We'll see you in the next one.